Welcome to Daily Ad Brief. I'm Christina Daves, your host of PR Champions, and today we are headed to South Pasadena, California to meet with Jason Call of GasMonitorCompetencyTraining.com. Welcome, Jason.
Good morning. Thank you for having me, Christina.
Oh, it's great to have you. So tell us what your company does.
Well, I started in gas detection quite a while ago. People who go into manholes, people who work in refineries or in industry that have to go into confined spaces, they have to have these little handheld devices that tell you how much oxygen's in the air, or if there's combustible gases, or if there's toxic gases. And so when they go down into those manholes, they've got those little monitors that tell them that if there's a problem in the air, they got to get their rear end out of the hole. Well, um, under OSHA, you have to have OSHA confined space entry training in order to do that. The problem is OSHA confined space entry training doesn't teach you how to actually use that monitor. And there are many different brands and models. So if your workers have taken that class and then you just hand them a monitor, you could be handing them things that are as different from each other as a stick is from automatic. And if you don't know how to drive a stick,
Yeah.
for example, that's where I come in. I teach the people how to properly use those products.
And this is just for workers. This isn't like in your home if you smell a gas leak, somebody would come with that.
Yeah, correct. It's just for workers. The kinds of things we have in our household is very different. So this is just for industrial and public works, wastewater, refineries, or so oil and gas industry, first responders. There's a huge market that uses these things.
Oh, that's fascinating. And then, so like you said, you were talking about like a manual or a stick. So they get this product. Do you train for all of the products across the market, or do you sell specific ones that you provide training for?
No, I do all the major brands and models. I was well, Honeywell owns a couple of the lines, and I worked for Honeywell as the Southern California and Arizona rep. And long before that, I was the rep for Mexico and Central America for another line. But when I got into the Honeywell company, they didn't have information on how other products were used. And so I became kind of the company wide go to walking, breathing library on how brand X and brand Y and brand B and brand C, how they work, what are their weaknesses, what are their strengths. And so people would come to me and say, hey, how do I go up against brand X for this big opportunity in this city? And so I would tell them, how that works. So I kind of became the one guy nationwide, or actually throughout the Americas. I've done training throughout the Americas on how all these products work. And so that's what allows me to build this business out of it.
And then to tie this into our topic of PR, how do you get the word out
Mm.
about this? How do you, because you are obviously the person to go to for that, how do you get that out to the company so people know that you're the person to go to for training?
Oh, mostly it is word of mouth, and it is a lot of phone calls, well, not a lot, a whole lot of advertising. I've done advertising on Google and Facebook, LinkedIn, that kind of thing. And It's mostly been just word of mouth and just networking, and it's really gone very well. It's gone very, very well. But I used to be the head of PR for an international business all run by students, and then I was the head of PR for UCLA's Mardi Gras when they used to have the Mardi Gras, and I don't think they do that anymore. And that's how I started in PR, and then I just built from there. I used to run all of the marketing and advertising for Howard Light Hearing Protection in the heyday of the Howard Light Hearing Protection, and I do some things for him now as well. And so, yeah, I've got a long background in PR.
That's wonderful. Well, we are out of time. Thank you so much for joining us today.
All right, I appreciate the time, Christina.
And to learn
Have a
more
great
about
day.
Jason and Gas Monitor confidence training, head on over to Daily Ad Brief. I'm Christina Daves, host of PR Champions, and I'll see you next time.